Hi friends, hey family, Steph and Ton here. As you can tell, the hair is gone. I have shaved my head and I was so ready for it, to be honest. Last week I was working and I could the hair was just shedding everywhere. It was getting in my food and on my computer and on me and on everybody else. And by the time last week, Friday, I was just done with my hair. I just didn't want to deal with it anymore or baby it. And so yeah, I let Anthony know. I was like, hey, are you cool if I go ahead and shave it? Like, I know it's gonna, are you comfortable with that? And he was like, I don't know, I think so. And I let my mother-in-law know, and she was like, no, don't cut your hair. And I was like, I'm sorry, Mom. I'm just so ready. Like, it just needs to come off, and I just need to be done with the hair. And then I let my boys know. I was like, hey, do you want to be here when I do it? And Alex seemed cool with it. Max was definitely like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what it's going to be like. If you come to school and pick me up, they're going to think that you're my uncle. And I was like, babe, it's okay. It's just hair. It's going to grow back. I had them pray for thick, curly hair to come back. I have wavy hair. So I had Alexander pray that it grows in thick and curly, because that would be really cool. Learn something new about yourself every day. I learned I have a widow's peak. And I have 2 calluses in the back of my head. But I have a pretty round head, so hey, I sent a picture to my family, just happy Friday, showing me and Anthony twinsies, because Anthony shaved his head forever. And it was really sweet. My dad went home right away and shaved his head and sent me a picture to the family of like representing. And it was really funny because I did not cry when I cut my hair. Like, I did it myself. I wanted to do it. I was so ready. I felt so empowered in the moment. Like, I felt like I was taking control of something by doing it in a way. It's just kind of weird, but I was not sad at all. I actually didn't cry until I got the picture of my dad with his bald head, because I was like, my dad has a nice head of hair. Like, that's, he's been blessed with a full head of hair his whole life. And so to see him shave his head, that made me get, emotional. And it was so sweet because he was just like, no, I want to, if anybody asks, I'll tell them that, it's a reminder to pray for my daughter. And yeah, it was really sweet. So that happened this last week since I checked in with you guys. Chemo this week, I knew it was going to be rough, but it was rough. I went in on Monday to do meet with my doctor and do labs. And there was some scheduling issues where they have to do labs before we do chemo. And for whatever reason, I had been jumbled back and forth between 2 hospitals and 2, departments. And somehow my lab just did not get scheduled. And so when I got to the doctors, I let her know. I was like, can they, get me in? Because I have really, I don't have great veins in my arms. And so if I do it manually, it's just painful and it's an extra poke. And I just would rather, have them do my lab work and using my port. So it ends up being a longer day for the first day of treatment to get the labs done, make sure that my body's okay. So I ended up sitting in the waiting room for like an hour for no reason. And I was really frustrated because Monday I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I did not want to do treatment. I was just not in a good mind space. I physically was just not feeling great. And so, on top of that, to kind of get lost in the mix on my Monday appointment, I just felt kind of vulnerable and frustrated and just kind of like, what am I even doing here? Like, I'm just sitting here for no reason. And so I ended up just getting it manually done on Monday instead of through my port, and ended up being fine. I just kind of had to make a stink about it with my nurses, which if you know me, I hate making a stink about anything. Like I don't like making things a big deal. Like I like things to move smoothly, and I'll do everything on my part like ahead of time to make things like easy so that things just go smoothly. And Monday just was kind of a train wreck. So I finally, like, I had already been at the doctor's for like 4 hours, not 4 hours, probably like 3 hours. I had come home and did some work, and then I went back for my infusion later in the day. So it was going to be a really long day. And the nurse came and talked to me, and she apologized, which I really appreciate because it was really frustrating. But I was feeling really vulnerable. Like I was just like, oh, I hate conflict. I was really feeling emotional that day. Like I was having a hard time just not tearing up, not crying at the drop of a dime kind of a situation. So just like, yeah, I was sitting in the chair, and they had started my first, like they'd given me all the pre-meds, and I finally felt like I had kind of calmed myself down and was cool. Like I was chilling. I was, watching something funny and laughing. And then all of a sudden, I felt this wave of like weight on my chest, like buzzing and, but like coughing and almost just having a hard time breathing. And so I got up from the chair and I looked, and thankfully Anthony was there, and I was like, Anthony, go get help. Something's wrong. Like, get help. I couldn't even really talk. I was just like, get help. And so he got my nurse, and they both looked at me, and I was just beet red. I started having back spasms, which was extremely painful. And I just got really scared because I never experienced this before. And so it went from my nurse to literally like probably 6 nurses flying in and like helping get me stable. They had to give me oxygen. They had to give me Benadryl and another medication to calm myself, help my breathing, and get me stabilized. It was really scary, and it was pretty traumatic. But at the same time, I was just so scared of like, they're going to stop my treatment. Like I'm having this allergic reaction, and the worst thing that they could do is just be like, we're going to cancel chemo this week. And so I just kind of got in this mode. Like I texted my work team, was like, hey, can you guys, like, I just had an allergic reaction. Can you guys like pray for me? Because we're going to rally and like chill out for a little bit and then start the chemo again. And hopefully with the added Benadryl and other things, like it'll help me stay stable and not have that allergic reaction. But in my mind, I was thinking, okay, like this is really scary and we're going to start again. But I was just like, Stephanie, just stay calm. Like you're in good hands. Your nurses are amazing. And they knew exactly what to do. And in a weird way, like I was traumatized. Like I was randomly emotional this last week, just like replaying everything in my mind and like kind of how it all happened. But I also like just it in a weird way, it gave me an idea of what it could look like if it happens again, and the drill and how the nurses take action, and what they do in that kind of a scary situation. I'm like, I'm in a hospital. So worst case scenario, if things go south, like they can get me into the ER or, wherever to get the help that I need. So in some ways it was like, okay, it's okay. And we did, like, we waited a half hour, and I got to the place where I was able to get up and go to use the bathroom by myself, and all of my vitals started coming down, like my blood pressure normalized, which it was like crazy high. The flush went away, the back spasms went away, and I had kind of gone back to normal. And so we did finish chemo that day, but it was a long day. I think we were like the last people at the infusion center. And they were, monitoring me and making sure that I was okay. And then the next few days, I came back for treatment, and they just went ahead and gave me Benadryl and another, I think it was like Pepcid or something, to like help with possible allergic reactions. And the rest of the week went amazingly well because I was just passed out by the Benadryl. I took long naps the next 2 days of infusions. And midweek, Wednesday, I still went for a long walk. I think I, walked like 3 or 4 miles, which Anthony was like, "You're pushing it too hard. Don't push it too hard." And then the following day, Thursday, I was still like had energy. So I was like, I guess I'll just, I walked again on Thursday, and I worked until it hit me. And it hit me Thursday afternoon, kind of like clockwork, of just like being just out for the count, exhausted. Thursday night and Friday night were really hard days for me, and it seems like chemo week that is the case. Chemo week, I get really bloated, and I like retain like a ton of fluids, and like I regularly will weigh like 10 pounds heavier, which is crazy, during chemo week, and then it'll come off slowly. And so I am still fighting with bloat. I am still feeling very bloated. Friday, I was in so much pain. I felt like a pregnant lady, like where if you've been pregnant before, you know what I'm talking about, but your stomach expands and you got like kids' feet kicking you. I don't have a baby inside, but it just was like so tight that it was painful on Friday for most of the day. And so I'm really glad that I got through the last couple of days, because honestly, the last couple of days have been the hardest. Yeah, they've been hard. And cancer is hard, guys. It's hard. It's not fun. And it's easy to get discouraged or bummed out. But I'm just holding on to hope that by going through this healing process, and it's okay to have these tears, like what I'm doing is really hard, and the tears are valid. But I'm just praying that through all of this, that the treatment is doing what it needs to do. And if it means that I have to do a chemo week, and it's, I'm out, on my back, just, not in a good spot for a week, and then I have 2 weeks that are off chemo and I'm doing good, and I'm, relatively handling everything okay, and doing well, like, I can keep doing this. It's just, I pray that it gets easier. I pray that the chemo is doing what it needs to do, and it's healing my body. There's a lot of surrendering of things, and I'm not really lonely or hopeless. But I'm not gonna lie that it hasn't been really hard and really challenging and really forcing me to really, to be on my knees in vulnerability and weakness. I think this was the first week that I really felt weak. Like Monday, I forced myself to go for a walk, and because I was so bloated, I was just like, if I could just, take some of this bloat off by walking. I don't know. I was walking and like my arms just felt like weak. Like, I don't even know how else to describe it, but just tingly, weak. I felt like I was forcing myself to walk. But I'm glad I did. Yeah. So this morning, I've been sleeping a lot this weekend. I've been on and off just to sleep in my bed. And this morning, Max knocked on the door and he poked his head in and he was like, "Mama, can we bake? I want to bake some cookies, but I need parental supervision." And so I was like, "Yeah, okay." And it's funny because typically, I would, set something up and they would do it. And this time around, I was like, I am just gonna sit here and watch them figure it out and learn by just doing. And I'll step in here a little now and then to like help so that it still, can turn out. But I was so proud. I was just like, it was just so nice to watch my kids work together. Max was kind of the boss in the kitchen, kind of bossing Alexander around, made Alexander his sous chef. It was just so cute because he got all of the measuring teaspoons out and had it like lined up. It looked like he was going to do surgery because he had it lined up so perfectly on this like clean paper towel, and he was going step by step. And it was just I don't know, this morning I was very just reflective and quiet, but like just watching my kids and how awesome they are. And I'm so blessed. My kids are, everything to me. My family's everything to me. It puts things in perspective of like life goals and things you want to like accomplish in your life. I was watching church this morning and there was a song, like one of the old hymns, was just talking about, this is my story, this is my song, singing to Jesus all day long. And just thinking about how that's enough. That's enough to be my story, to just worship God every day, thank Him for what He's done, how faithful He's been, how good He is, how kind He is. Our life isn't made to be easy. We all are called to do different things. And this is part of my story. And however it plays out, I'm okay with it. I'm just going to continue every day to praise God with my singing. Thank Him for His goodness. There's a scripture today. It was Psalms 100 verse 5, and it says, "For the Lord is good, His unfailing love continues forever, and His faithfulness continues to each generation." And I've been having a lot of conversations with God about my boys and, praying for them to be godly men and that He would guide them no matter what. Like, God would be in their lives and He would help them along the way, even if I can't be there or if I can't help. That my boys, like, God will be close to my boys and take care of them, and His promises are good. You can take them to the bank. I wanted to get on today and just be vulnerable and acknowledge that, sometimes I'm doing really good and I'm on a high, and other times I'm not doing great and I'm struggling, and it's real, and it is what it is. And so I'm really thankful that I made it through this last week. I'm thanking God that He got me through this last week. I'm excited for the energy to come back and for the bloat to leave. I'm excited to have a good couple weeks off where things can be more normal and more just day-to-day regular stuff with the kids and with fall and the seasons, with Anthony. I'm really excited about the holidays, and I'm also anxious about the holidays because of what my scans are going to show, if, they're working or if they're not. But I'll keep handing it to God and see how things land. So that's all my ramblings for today. I love you guys so much, and I hope that you're doing well and that you're enjoying this fall season and making memories with your loved ones and your friends and your family. Like, just hug on them a little closer and enjoy what God has given you. And if you're healthy, like, take advantage of it. If you're struggling with illness like me, just day to day, go to God, and He will help you get through it, through the hard parts. And in the moments that you do experience joy and thankfulness, it's that much sweeter. So, love you so much. Talk soon.